Hello, this is Katie again, and this is day 14 of a video day in October. I think this is card 2021. It'll be in the title. I already started filming. I took my rings off to nap earlier because my hands get really puffy when I sleep, and I had a super bad headache when I got home from work, so I needed to lay down. And so I took them off, and I realized I haven't put them back on, but I'm not gonna go start refilming. So I'm still married. My rings are in their box. I can't wear them when I sleep because I am too fat. Anyway, so I'm going to use, I've been seeing a couple of these and they just look really cool. I didn't go back and look. I actually don't even know where I would have found them. I probably liked them on Instagram at some point, but I wouldn't have remembered who did them, unfortunately. But basically it's like a grayscale card, and so it's all grays. And since I just got, based on my last video, I just got the neutral grays of Artist's Loft, the basically Copic dupes for at Michael's. I don't know if this is a Michael's brand or if Michael's just sells their stuff. But I probably won't be using black because I'm going to stamp it in black, and I just don't like coloring with a black marker because it will drown out any line whatsoever. So I'll set that one aside. But I explained in the last video, I got these because I wanted to try them out. They were in a box, so no one had touched them. All the loose ones were kind of like drying out, which is not good. It means people are playing with them in the store, so I would make sure and look at it if you're going to get any. But they're only $4 compared to like $8 Copic sketch from Michael's as well. And I only have warm grays and cool grays, and I don't have any neutrals. The store I normally buy them at in person has no neutrals at all, and so I just never got a collection of neutrals. So I thought this would be a good way to test them out. I tested them in my last video if you want to look at that, but I basically did Copics here and tested these over here. It's a little bit different because these are cool grays and these are neutral, but yeah. So I went and talked about that a little bit, so you can check that out in the last video. But I wanted to create a little scene with my Memento Tuxedo black ink and then do my best at coloring. And I wanted to do a little masking as well, so I'll show you that too. So this might be a little difficult. I wanted to use this. I just don't know if I would be able to match it up, and I don't want to have to clean it and like use my stamp platform and clean it, set it down, and pick it up again. I think honestly I could eyeball it a lot better, so I think I'll try it. This probably isn't going to be a great card. It's more of I just wanted to see that, you know, grayscale coloring. And this obviously isn't a sky feature, it's drippy goo. And so we'll just do it anyway. I need to hover over this a little bit. So we'll see how close we can get it. And I have a bunch of different stamps from like 4 different stamp sets. So we'll see how this goes. I'm just gonna, wow, that was pretty good eyeballing, if I do say so myself. So we'll do that, clean this guy off. Okay, set that aside for now. So that'll be a drippy sky. This is my little connector. You can probably see, but that's not too bad. And then for the masking, what I wanted to do was stamp this one. I'll tell you where this is from in a second, sorry. I'll probably maybe hand draw in some grass or something around it. The two tombstones I'll be using are from the Avery Bewitching. The drippy goo was from Sassy Club stamps, the Borders set. I've been wanting to use this. Unfortunately, it will not be colored green the first time I use it. It's going to be gray, but that's okay. And then I wanted to mask that first one, and I'm going to put a ghost behind it. So I'm going to do another one of those. There was something on that. Oh, I picked up, there's a piece of glitter on my stupid ink pad, and I picked up the glitter. So of course that got marked. I have this pen, so I'll just fill that in. I got this pen. It's from Sakura. It's a little thick, but it's, I tested it at my craft store with, I asked for a Copic to go over it, and it didn't bleed, so I just wanted that for touch-ups. So those two are from the Avery L. Bewitching, and then this set, the Fab-boo-lous Halloween from Your Next Stamp, the ghost and the pumpkin I'll be using is from there. The ghost is going to be coming out from behind there. The pumpkin I'm going to put in the middle. This isn't going to be the most inventive scene either. I have a sentiment. I think I'll put that maybe up under there. The sentiment is from Waffle Flower Hocus Pocus, which I love. I need to use more in my Halloween series this year and probably next year, since I'm not allowed to buy any stamps next year. So you all better not make any cute Halloween stamps, because I can't buy them, because I spent all my money on this year's Halloween stamps. So I have two. I just didn't want to pick up the dirt with it, but I'm going to stamp this onto the sticky top of a Post-it, and then cut it out, and then we'll use that as our mask and put our little ghost guy behind it. So since you're stamping over, I also don't need to cut the bottom because he's not going to be that low. So since you're stamping over paper, this is very thin, but you're still stamping over another thickness of some sort. It doesn't hurt to, you can even cut a little bit over the line. So like I could be cutting this black line in half just to make sure, you know, there isn't a gap, or the gap is covered. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm not really sure how else to explain it. So we'll take the mask, and it's sticky for most of it from about there up, and put that exactly over. And then we'll take the little ghost guy. And I only want him, like, you know, kind of, I want to see his little tail. So I kind of want him like there. Then it'll look like he's behind it. And there you go. So I thought that would be cute. And then I have, I'm going to clean those and put those back later. A lot of people keep a mask like on it. I don't mind just making another one later, but a lot of people, this is how they store their masks that they cut. They stay sticky, so you can do that. And then I have a bat from Halloween Fun from Hello Bluebird, which I also got this year. I loved all of the Halloween they came out with. I'm glad they're as obsessed with Halloween as I am. And then I was going to put him upside down from the sky, which is drippy goo at this point. I'm actually just going to turn this around and stamp it, because I don't trust myself to stamp him upside down. Oh, I'll do that. We'll put his feet on there. Okay, Sorry, there's some weird noises outside and I can't tell what they are. So like I said, this is a bit random, and of course there's empty space in here. I'm trying to think. I wanted to add another ghost, and I have a couple. I'm trying to think of other stuff that I could put in. I think the spider we can have dripping down from the drippy goo. I will move this over. I'm running out of blocks. So we'll have the spider coming down from the waffle flower set. He can come down from that goo. This is a very busy little scene we have going here. And then in here, I have other sets as well. I'm wondering if I have so many brooms. They're all pretty similar. These two brooms are pretty similar. I like both of them. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like magic potion-y stuff, but I could throw some just solid flying bats in there because there's no room for a higher moon. So I'll put a couple of these instead, and obviously these won't be colored in. I'm going to move him over. I've used up all my little blocks. I don't actually know where I bought all of these. They're very similar, and I feel like I bought them at Michael's or something. But I don't remember where all my blocks came from. That wasn't great, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to use this pen and just kind of draw in my own grass. And maybe try and flick it because I don't want it to be too thick. Okay. The grass is going to be gray anyway, because all of this is going to be gray. So I will get some of that out of the way and we will start coloring. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see it better, and then hopefully I don't move it out of view. So again, we have in order, I have N8, N6, N5, N3, and N2. I don't know if those are focusing or you can see them, but I would have liked an N1. I mentioned in the last video, I'll probably look and see if there's a loose one in the individual ones at the store. But I feel like N6 looks darker than N8. I'm going to keep a little tester piece of paper next to me. So that is N6. Oops. And N8. Okay. So N8 is darker. So I'm going to start down here. And really I'm just going to shade like darkest to lightest on most things. I'll do that on everything. The lightest I start with may be, you know, not, or the darkest I start with may not be an 8. But we'll see how this goes. So we've got the shading from the pumpkin. And normally I go down the sides and the bottom. I hope I'm not cutting this out of view. I'm sorry if I am. My normal view when I'm not zoomed in is the entire area of this brown craft mat piece, so I usually just work within there, but I've zoomed you in, so I need to be careful about leaving the view. So we've got N6 to blend out a little bit. That was a race car, obviously, in the background, if you heard that. We live next to a kind of a freeway. It's across a road as well, but of course it's louder than they said it was going to be, so why am I not surprised? So then I'll use N5. I had mentioned in my last video, I think I was using these three, that it kind of blends it out. Like it almost gets rid of the dark blending that you did. They're probably not as smooth as Copics. The brush is definitely a little stiffer. I like this gray pumpkin look though, it's kind of cool. But you can kind of see like it's not entirely blending this. You know, you can kind of still see the marks that I made, so you can always go back up to the darker one. You can also take the lighter one and touch it to the darker one and try and blend it out a little bit. I don't think I will do that too much. So, oops. Throwing things. So then the N6, I will blend out a little bit of what I did here. I kind of like the stiffer control, but I think it's really just because it's different. I don't think it means that I prefer a stiffer marker point, but I think I will always prefer my Copics. But if I can get a set of 6 of these just to cover my neutral grays for $2 a marker, then I'm gonna do that. Especially since I clearly didn't care enough to buy a set of neutrals online. I mean, I have several buying options. I didn't have to get them from my store that never carried them, so I just like bringing my chart and going in person and testing them out and then coloring in my chart as I buy them. Okay, so then we will take the darkest one again, an 8, and then we're going to go on top of our light blend and start over. So these are separated. I'm just arbitrarily shading here, by the way. And I don't want to completely bleed out the spider web, so I'll be careful around that one. And then these lids are a little hard to do. Just kind of blend this out. And then go down this side. Then we will take this one, so N5. When we get to, oops, that went over. I'm sure the colorless blender I have for my Copics would work on these as well if I needed to blend something back out. For the ghost, I will probably use, I hate even to use N3 because it's a little dark, but I'll definitely use N2 maybe my colorless blender on him. Okay, then I'm just going to do the same shading really all around. I'm not going to film all of this or else this will be very long. I will definitely show you the end for sure. This is the darkest that I'm working with, the darkest that is not black in the set, because I set that one aside. And then shade that, and I'll probably do darker up here to lighter drippy goo. So the top will be darker. And then the spider. Got N6. I'll probably just use those two colors on him. And then blend that out some more. This one I can play with a little more of the spectrum. Sorry, out of view there. And maybe go even all the way down to N2. So I want to... I think this will be fine. I mean, he's not going to be white or see-through. So we'll use some N3 and N2, I think, on this ghost. I'll get here, definitely go around there. And then N2, so that was N3, and this is N2, and we'll just fill him in, except for his mouth. I will leave that, and hopefully his eyes. Try and go around the little white dot. I didn't have, obviously, a plan, a real plan for this card going in. I just loved all of the, and by all, I mean, I think 2 or 3 people did it, all of the gray scale scenes I was seeing. If you go look, I think even recently Lawn Fawn reposted whoever did it, the one that I liked a lot. So go look there, and then you'll probably see the one that I'm thinking of. Lawn Fawn doesn't post, you know, every day, so it's not that far back. I'm just gonna go right to N5, I think. These tips, after you use them for a little bit, they look like they're drying out, so maybe the ones I saw in the store weren't, you know, that bad, but I would just be careful about them if you do go in to buy some. So we've got the lid on the N6 just looks darker than the N8 lid, but it's not a darker marker, it's lighter. And then the N5 probably, and what I think it does, it just kind of lightens up any dark blending you did. That comes in handy if you maybe blended a little too much. It can lighten up the whole area there. This one's been sitting for a while. Hopefully I didn't wait too long. Oops. Back to N5 to finish this off. And I went over the line on that one, so blend that back out. And just like Copics, the more you color over it, the more it's gonna kind of blend out. So just keep blending. So I'm gonna work a little bit more on this. I'm gonna pause and then I will come back, probably show you it finished because I don't wanna make this too long. Okay, so it didn't take me too much longer to finish that, but I kind of like how it turned out. I'm not gonna lie. The marker tips are definitely nowhere near Copic for fine line coloring, getting into small areas. They're a little fat. So I used my colorless blender a little bit. It works similarly, kind of for like, you know, corners like this where it went out a little bit. It may work a little better on Copics because that is the marker it is meant for, but this can do the job if you use these and, you know, you just go out of the line a little bit. These kind of bleed probably a little bit more than Copics. I've also heard that the red Copics tend to bleed more than other colors of Copics themselves. So, but in the end, I think it was a pretty cute idea for a Halloween card. Looks very Halloween-y. And I just blended away some of that one. So I used all of them, all the way down to N2, for coloring in the drippy goo, which could probably use some more blending. But yeah, this was really fun to color in. I don't know if I'll make another one, but my grass worked out pretty well, my hand-drawn grass. So that is the card, and hopefully you give this a try, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.